Why making love with a narcissist is so painful but makes you addicted. Welcome to an exploration of one of the most confusing, emotionally turbulent, and intense types of relationships, a relationship with a narcissist. At first, the relationship can seem like a fairy tale, full of passion, excitement, and undeniable chemistry. But as time goes on, the dream often turns into a nightmare. You may find yourself constantly questioning your self-worth, your sanity, and your ability to break free. It's as if you're trapped in a loop of emotional highs and devastating lows, leaving you addicted to the person who causes you so much pain. This video dives deep into the mysterious psychology behind why making love to a narcissist is both excruciatingly painful and yet, for many, impossibly addictive. If you've ever found yourself entangled with a narcissist, or are just curious about how these relationships operate, stay tuned because this discussion might just give you the insight you've been searching for. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Share it with others who might need help recognizing or escaping the grip of a narcissist. Let's begin. The Narcissist Charm. Why they're so hard to resist. At the start of a relationship with a narcissist, you'll likely feel as though you've stumbled upon a dream come true. They seem to perfectly embody everything you've ever longed for in a partner. They're incredibly charming, paying you an overwhelming amount of attention, and they make you feel like you're the most special person in the world, like you are the very center of their universe. This phase of the relationship is often referred to as love bombing, a term that describes the barrage of affection, compliments, and attentiveness that narcissists use to win you over in the beginning. During this stage, it feels as though the narcissist is everything you could ever want, showering you with praise and affection, making you feel seen, adored, and appreciated in ways you might not have experienced before. However, this charm is anything but accidental or genuine. Narcissists are incredibly adept at reading people, carefully assessing their emotional needs and vulnerabilities. They know precisely what you crave in a relationship and how to present themselves in a way that meets those desires. With keen awareness, they tailor their behavior to make you feel like you've found someone who truly gets you, someone who is uniquely aligned with your emotional needs. Every gesture, every glance, and every whispered word seems perfectly timed and crafted to sweep you off your feet, deepening your belief that you've finally found the ideal partner who understands and loves you completely. This heady, almost addictive connection feels real, creating a bond that can seem unbreakable at the time. But in reality, this bond is built on falsehoods and manipulation rather than a solid emotional foundation. As the relationship progresses, you might begin to notice that the narcissist appears to reflect your own values, interests, and desires back at you. This mirroring might make it seem like you've found a partner who shares your deepest passions and outlooks, effortlessly aligning themselves with your vision of an ideal relationship. Yet, this isn't a genuine connection. Instead, it's a carefully calculated strategy. Narcissists use mirroring as a manipulation technique, designed to make you trust them more deeply and without reservation. By reflecting your qualities and values back at you, they create the illusion that you've met someone who's perfectly in sync with who you are and what you want. But this emotional connection is a facade, used to pull you closer and bind you to them emotionally. The effect of this tactic is powerful. In a remarkably short period of time, you might find yourself becoming emotionally dependent on the narcissist. You believe they truly understand you on a deep, intimate level. The intensity of the connection, coupled with the way they seem to fulfill your every emotional need, can make you feel like this person is essential to your happiness and well-being. This emotional dependency is not coincidental, but rather the outcome the narcissist has been working toward. They exploit this dependence to maintain control over you, gradually revealing their true nature once you're fully invested in the relationship. Ultimately, what felt like a perfect partnership at first was nothing more than an illusion, a carefully constructed web of manipulation designed to ensnare you emotionally. The shift from love bombing to emotional withdrawal. As the relationship progresses, something changes. The narcissist, once loving and attentive, starts to pull away. This shift often happens subtly at first. A few forgotten compliments, less attention, small criticisms. But over time, it becomes more pronounced. You may find that they start devaluing you, blaming you for things that go wrong, or making you feel like you're not enough. This phase is deeply painful because it contrasts so sharply with the euphoria of the early stages. What's happening here is that the narcissist has achieved what they wanted: control. They've hooked you emotionally and now begin to withdraw their affection and attention, knowing that you're desperate to get it back. This cycle of intermittent reinforcement, where they give you just enough love to keep you around, but not enough to satisfy you, is what makes the relationship so addictive. The unpredictability keeps you on edge, constantly trying to win back their approval and affection. You may find yourself questioning everything. What happened to the person I fell in love with? You ask yourself. You try harder to please them, thinking that if you just do or say the right things, they'll return to the person they were at the beginning of the relationship. But that person was never real. It was a facade designed to pull you in. Now that the narcissist has control, they no longer feel the need to keep up the act. The painful reality of emotional manipulation. One of the most devastating aspects of being intimate with a narcissist is the constant emotional manipulation. Narcissists are masters of using love and affection as tools of control. They'll withhold their love when they want to punish you or regain power in the relationship, and they'll give it back when they need something from you. This cycle of giving and taking love creates a toxic dynamic where you feel constantly off balance. The manipulation extends beyond just withholding affection. Narcissists are known for gaslighting, a form of psychological abuse where they make you question your reality. You may confront them about their behavior, only to be told that you're overreacting or too sensitive. Over time, this erodes your sense of self and leaves you feeling confused and insecure. What makes the emotional manipulation so painful is that it often happens without you even realizing it. By the time you start to see the signs, you're already deeply entangled in the relationship, making it difficult to break free. The narcissist uses your love for them as a weapon, manipulating you into staying even when you know the relationship is unhealthy. Why you can't let go. The trauma bond. If you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, you know that leaving is incredibly difficult. Even when the relationship is causing you immense pain, you may feel an overwhelming sense of attachment to the narcissist. This is known as a trauma bond, and it's one of the reasons why people find it so hard to break free from narcissistic relationships. Trauma bonding occurs when an abuser creates a cycle of abuse and affection, making the victim dependent on them for emotional validation. In a relationship with a narcissist, this bond is strengthened by the intense emotional highs and lows. The periods of affection feel like a relief from the pain, making you cling to the relationship even more. The trauma bond is what keeps you addicted to the narcissist, even though you know the relationship is toxic. You may find yourself making excuses for their behavior, blaming yourself for the problems in the relationship, or holding on to the hope that they'll change. But the reality is, narcissists rarely change, and the cycle of abuse will continue as long as you stay in the relationship. The intensity of narcissistic intimacy. One of the reasons why making love with a narcissist is so addictive is the intensity of the physical connection. Narcissists often use sex as a tool of manipulation, knowing that physical intimacy creates a deep emotional bond. During the initial stages of the relationship, sex with a narcissist can feel incredibly passionate and fulfilling. It feels like you're connecting on a soul-deep level, and that intensity can be intoxicating. However, as the relationship progresses, the narcissist may begin to use sex as a form of control. They may withhold physical intimacy as a way to punish you or manipulate you into doing what they want. This creates a cycle where you become desperate for their affection, willing to do whatever it takes to get it back. The unpredictability of when they'll be affectionate and when they'll withdraw keeps you constantly on edge, reinforcing the emotional addiction. What makes this dynamic so painful is that you're left constantly craving the emotional connection that comes with physical intimacy. The highs of being close to the narcissist are so intense that they make the lows even more unbearable. You become trapped in a cycle of longing for the person you thought they were, even though that person was never real. The narcissist's need for control. At the core of a narcissist's behavior is their need for control. Narcissists thrive on having power over others, and they use love and intimacy as tools to maintain that control. When they sense that you're becoming too independent or emotionally detached, they'll pull you back in with affection and attention. But as soon as they feel secure in their control, they'll withdraw again, keeping you in a constant state of emotional limbo. This need for control is why narcissists are often so manipulative in relationships. They see their partners not as equals, but as extensions of themselves, people who exist to meet their needs and validate their sense of superiority. When you're no longer serving that purpose, they'll discard you without a second thought. But until then, they'll keep you on a tight leash, using love and intimacy to keep you under their control. The pain of this dynamic is that you're left feeling like you're never enough. No matter how much you give, it's never sufficient to satisfy the narcissist's insatiable need for validation. This constant striving for their approval leaves you emotionally exhausted and deeply wounded. The addiction to the narcissist's love. Perhaps the most perplexing aspect of loving a narcissist is the addiction that forms. Even though the relationship is painful, you find yourself unable to walk away. You're addicted to the highs, the moments when the narcissist is loving, attentive, and affectionate. These moments feel like a reward after all the pain, and they keep you coming back for more. The reason this dynamic is so addictive is that it taps into a primal part of the brain. The intermittent reinforcement of affection creates a cycle where you're constantly chasing the next high, even though it's always just out of reach. It's the same mechanism that makes gambling so addictive. The unpredictability of when you'll win keeps you hooked. In the case of a relationship with a narcissist, you're constantly chasing the version of them that you fell in love with. You hold on to the hope that they'll change, that they'll go back to being the person they were at the beginning of the relationship. But the truth is, that person never really existed. The narcissist's love was always conditional, and the pain you feel is a result of trying to meet those impossible conditions. Breaking free. Healing from a narcissistic relationship. Breaking free from a narcissistic relationship is incredibly difficult, but it's not impossible. The first step is recognizing the cycle of abuse and manipulation for what it is. Once you understand that the relationship is built on control and not love, you can begin to detach emotionally. Healing from a narcissistic relationship requires time, support, and a lot of self-compassion. You may need to seek therapy to rebuild your sense of self and learn how to set healthy boundaries in future relationships. Surround yourself with people who genuinely care about you and who can offer you the emotional support you need to heal. The road to recovery may be long, but it's worth it. Once you break free from the narcissist's grip, you'll begin to see just how much they were holding you back. You'll rediscover your worth and learn how to build relationships based on mutual respect and love, rather than manipulation and control. Understanding the pain and addiction. Making love with a narcissist is painful because it's rooted in manipulation, control, and emotional dependency. The intense highs and lows of the relationship create an emotional addiction that's incredibly difficult to break. But understanding the dynamics at play is the first step toward healing. By recognizing the narcissist's tactics and focusing on your own well-being, you can break free from the cycle and reclaim your emotional health. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this with someone who might need to hear it, and remember, you deserve a relationship built on love, respect, and mutual care. Thank you for watching.